Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Fake Fairy Tale and we're back with the Let's Recreate a Sewers video series where we're working through the map and filling it up room by room. In the previous videos we've added these assets in the prison area, and in the meanwhile the previous video that I released was on prefabs, but I used this room on the top right corner over here to demonstrate how effective they are. And I also thought it would help speed up the process of making this map, and in the meanwhile addressing different topics of interest that could also be of interest to other people that don't want to watch the entire series. So if you've missed that, please go check if this series is the specific reason that you've come to my channel, because we're talking about this room. But I'm actually very happy about the results on what this looks like. So let's see if we can recreate the same atmosphere in some different rooms. And I want to stay at the top half of the map. I wanted to create a bedroom at the left hand side here for some kind of captain or whatnot, and maybe do the armory or some kind of weapons room where we have a few bunch of things stocked. So maybe some arrows, bows, a few chests, and maybe a weapon rack as well. And then we have these two small rooms finished up here. This is going to be a larger storage room at some point, and some kind of well, canteen, not really a place where they can just sit, maybe play some cards. I think recreation room would be a good description, though I might change my mind in between videos, but we'll get to that later. Now, without further ado, let's just quickly kick off and start with the left room over here. And I'm going to, well, do the same thing as I did in the last video, and we're going to add a simple bed on one of the prefabs that I've made. Place that in the top left corner over here, and I'm going to immediately separate that and remove the backpack that we have in there, because I don't want that to be in the in this room specifically. And I think I'm going to add in maybe a desk. Would that make sense? I think so. We're going to add in a desk on this side, so that maybe this captain of the thieves has something to report or work in private, and specifically in the sewers where there's not that much space. You're going to need that. It's also going to keep clear of the left hand side of this wall, because this is because that will be a secret exit out of this room. So let's make sure this is upright, because they want to be efficient with the space here. Let's place that in the middle and take a chair. And we're making this one a bit fancier than the other ones, because so far we have given them just wooden chairs. And I want this one to have a chair that's appropriate for his status. We're gonna keep it a brown color though. And we'll just place that over here. I'm going to add some papers and other things in there as well. And now I do want to add in some kind of shelf that we can place along the wall here. And I want it to look like it's suspended from the wall. So let's make sure it's rather small as well. And we can take a bucket. I used that in the barracks as well. We place underneath to indicate the height difference, and set that to layer 2. Maybe you can grab some chains if they have it. They do. That's White Fox Works actually. That's coming to my rescue, I believe. Yeah. Oh, let's not place those down. We don't need that. We'll take the rusty ones, make them significantly smaller because this is way too big. It's also a tad too long. This is going to be too small. Do we have? I think this could work. Place those on the edge, and then we need something to have a chain link somewhere. Oh, look, there we are. They'll do wonders. I do want that to go underneath those chains though. So this will be layer 2, because they'll be mounted to the shelf. Place those over there. And then we're going to grab the chains, bring those up a level. Actually, I think on layer 3 works better for them, because then we can place something underneath there as well rather easily. And I'll move them to the back somewhat, so as if to create the illusion that it's linked up there. I have to make sure it's in sync though. Oh, there we are. And what do we want on the shelf? Maybe a book or two, because it could very well keep one. Something simple. Turn it to the regular size. And have it go underneath the chain there. That looks cool. And then a dagger to protect himself as well. And I want that to be in its sheath, I guess. So let's grab the curved blade there. I don't want it to look too fancy, but we can do it like so and just place the sheath on top. And let's place a purse over there. I want that one, but give it a different color. And a few coins that are just spread around there. And let's keep it in line with... That could work. Yeah, I think those coins are fine. And let's not make it gold, silver and copper. Do they have silver copper combinations? Of course they don't. So many choices. I'll just make it silver then. Stubborn me. Just have them around there. Maybe a bit much, but sure. And then I want the rug to go underneath everything. We can just hide most of the wooden floor there. I'll give it some kind of pattern and keep it like a very grayish blue. That's too light. Make that darker. I'll take away a little bit of the alpha value. Move it all the way down. And that's still too bright. The alpha value is also too low because you can see the lines through it too well. And let's grab a simpler one because this one has quite a few decorations. This is better. And I want it to be actually quite a bit smaller because I just want it to be underneath the bed and not the door or the secret door. I think like so. Yeah, that's cool. And then we need some paper for him to write on and write his reports, and we'll add in some scrolls laying on top of this as well. And the fact that I am above the desk at layer 1, that's not what it's supposed to be. You can be layer 2 and sent to back. And then on layer 3, we'll add in these scrolls that we have here. And maybe you can have a map somewhere over there as well. But I want it to look like a city. And place that right on the corner there. Awesome. And we need a wanted poster. Let's see if we can have another wanted person, because I know for a fact that we've used that before. I think a bloodied one is fine, as if somebody just barely escaped. I think we want some of these as well. Scroll case that we can, maybe we can place that below the desk. So you can grab them if he needs. And with the colored ones, I'm going to make that a very brownish color. There we are. And we're definitely going to need another scroll or two to be at top here. And the last one. And then some ink bottles, because he'll definitely be using those. We'll have one over here. A paper and a pen that he is writing a specific reports. Because I forgot that. And well, it's either a quill. Oh no, this pen that works actually. Let's add in just a cup as well. And maybe a strong box, because that can hold some kind of valuables. There we are. But it doesn't necessarily have to be money. Like a jewel box is a bit too thick on there, right? Yeah. So you had these quite regular boxes that you could use, not as decorated. I suppose they're still somewhere in here. Ah, this works. It looks quite plain and simple. Not too much on there. And let's see if we can add in some different clutter. I'm quickly going to scroll through everything we have here. I say quickly, but this is going to take a moment. And there we are. I think this actually looks quite good already. I might add some tiny details at some point in the future. If I find anything that I'm like, oh, that's gonna work there. But I added in some paper. I added in a tiny lever on the side here, and it's quite visible right now. But when we've added in some shadows, it's going to be hardly visible. So it might be a nice thing that a player can spot when they see this map. And be like, oh, well, maybe there's something here, because you want to cover this up, of course, with some fog of war. And we added in some bottles of wine. Seems like something this guy could have, mainly a drinking problem. And then, you know, the bucket, we have a razor and some other things that are here and there. So what we want to do now is we're going to add in some shadows. And we'll start with the main shadows that we want to place around the room, just regular shadows. Let's see if we have the width is very small, 0.5. There we are. So that already creates a bit of a sense of depth in the room. I do need to delete this one because that one's wild. Where did I place that? Ah, was the first one. Naturally, we'll just quickly do that again. There we are. And there we are. And then I'm going to make the width like very small. It's going to be very thin. And we'll line that along the edges of the wall. Make sure that that's a bit darker, at least in the places that we can see. And things for like behind the bed, you want to make sure that that's properly darkened out. Just closely on the wall here as well. I do say I made a major mistake there. We'll fix that up in just a second. And another one along these lines and over here. And we'll grab ourselves the edit points tool and make sure that we drag these edges out. To their appropriate places. One that we need to fix. I think that's everything. Yes. And then I'm quickly going to outline all the other objects here with the shadow path to pull them away from the floor. I'll do that in fast forward as well. All right, and now we do want to have the patterns on the floor and to indicate some usage. So scratches and maybe some missing planks or broken planks as well. So we'll just grab one and throw that on top, and then maybe we're in luck with the ones over here. The side facing pattern, yeah, I think that works. We'll add in some scratches indicating like something is moving to the right hand side there. Don't specifically know what, but maybe somebody with a sharp eye might catch it. And we'll do the same thing over here. We can do it on the other side. Because of the door scratching over the floor. And then we need some broken planks maybe. That seems like a very unpractical spot. Is there anything? And I think that is going to finish up this room for now, because this looks very decent. I like it. I almost forgot. We're going to need some footprints here as well. So let's do that. I just have to find the blood. And grab ourselves the smaller footprints. Yep, that works. And then alpha value all the way down. And maybe not all the way down. That's perfect. Just add some on this carpet to the wall and the desk over here. Maybe, you know, we'll indicate that something's going on there with a lot of footsteps towards the wall. And we'll just properly stain that up. There we go. That looks like as messy as it should be and could be. And that's that for the specific room over there. And then we're going to move over and fill up this one over here. So let's remove the sword that's in there. And we want a weapon rack. Let's grab a metal one, right? That's okay. Though I do want a rusted one. And a half rack. Not too much weapons on there, but a bit more than this. Oh, this is actually perfect. Because it's small and doesn't take up too much space, so we can place that over there. And we want some boxes, actually. And that we can set down here. Don't want to make them that big. I'm turning on the grid for just a moment to make sure that it's all aligned quite nicely. These are on layer 1. We'll grab a darker color box, we'll put that underneath. There we are. And then I want, say, barrel. Just have a barrel of rum over here. And one on top, that's on layer 2. And let's take one with another texture and make it somewhat smaller. And then we want a bow and arrow. Or just arrows. See if we can find anything. Yeah, that works. I always thought these were a bit big, so we'll make them a little bit smaller than they are. The red ones are also nice. I will search up some weapons, but I want to keep it kind of simple ones. So maybe a spear could work, a few in the corner over here. That's something somebody can use, and then potentially add in a crossbow of sorts or something ranged. Crossbow. Wow, that's an epic contraption. We don't want that. And we'll keep it a bit smaller. This again does seem like a very expensive one. That's better. It's a darker color. And do want to place that on top of the chests here. So let's place that one further to the front. And we'll turn those around. And I'll just slap those in the corner. And then what else could we have? Something they can use like rope. And that's something that a common thief would need quite often. Lay that on top of the chest. And maybe below the weapon rack in the corner. There we are. And let's see if we can have some other kind of clutter, maybe some tools. If we can get a shelf, and then we'll place that against the wall. We can jam on some tools there as well. We'll make sure that that's just higher than the rest. A wall-mounted shelf, and I will grab ourselves some tools. Gobbler tool. Thieves. Thief. Okay, we're gonna have to look that up over here. And we'll grab ourselves a few things that can work. Some tongs or pliers. Anything that would work. Do I have a rolled up version of this? I don't think we have. Those are medical kits, thieves' tools. Well, we can add that maybe on the shelf. I'll have that just laid out, and then we'll take some other tools that we can find here and we'll place that on the side of it. As if people can just grab it off the shelves here whenever they go out. These looks like lockpicks or some kind of picks. We'll slap in an axe here as well. Something to drill holes with could be very useful. Or file as well. And then we'll just drop in a hacksaw. And now we're not. Do want something to go below the shelf here. So maybe a sack that we can put down there, and we'll take a backpack as well, because that's something quite useful. We'll place it over there, and then we'll grab something with a bit of color. Well, that's a lot of color. I'll just do these ones. I like the textures of this, and they're quite a bit darker. Not sure what this is going to be, but it's going to help get that sense of depth across for sure. And smack on one lighter over there. I do just realize I've placed most of these assets in layer 1. That's gonna be a bit finicky with the shading, but I think I'd be fine. And well, we can add in maybe a few lanterns that we just place along the side here for people to pick up as they go. They have a set of new ones that are all the way below, and maybe like 1 or 2 older ones. And I want the handle to be side face. Yeah, there we are. And this is starting to clutter up quite nicely already. And I want some of these purses that we have, maybe some caltrops as well. If we can have... so we'll place this alongside the picks. And I want a open crate that we can use, and then we'll place some caltrops or something in there. I'll place that along against the wall over here. There we are. Can we use a different color wood? I think we can. We have darker wood over here. And then caltrops that they can strew about in the sewers. I'll pretend like there's a newer mix in there as well, or newer set of them, as if they've been crafted. And we'll use some shadows to create some depth into this crate, like we always do. There we are. And I think that's what I like for now. So we'll grab our shadow pathways again. And I'll first do the crate over here along the edges. We can turn off the grid actually. And the one in the middle, no, I want that to be thinner. And see if we can keep the center a bit lighter, like so. Do have to move one over here because we could see the bottom. Don't want that. And then I'm going to repeat the process that I did with the other room and fast forward. So we're going to line out for the general shadows, to line out the walls, and then line out the separate objects to make sure that they pull away from the floors. And then after that, I'll quickly add in a floor pattern as well. And then I want to call this room finished too. So you can either skip to the end if you want to see the end result, or if you want to follow the process, you can hang around and see what happens. All right, and there we are. We have a finished up room, and I think for a weapons room, it looks great. Not too many weapons, because otherwise it would simply be ridiculous. If a thieves guild had so many weapons at their disposal, just I'll leave it in here. I do think we might need to add a lock on the door at some point. I might do that after this video, after recording this. Because it would make sense. I think we'll add it in the other side of the room actually, to have this all locked up so that everybody can get in there. We are creating a base for a hideout for a bunch of thieves nonetheless. So But with that out of the way, I think I do want to call it quits for this video. I also just realized that we need to add in some of the dirt and grime in here, but I'll do that after the video as well. And then we have quite a few rooms already finished, some below here. We do need to add in the shading there. And we have 3 finished rooms up there, albeit the smaller ones, but it's starting to come together. And I think specifically if we like fill up the center room and we have some of the larger areas done, that's going to look significantly better. I might actually stick to the top for now and just finish this area up, so you have an impression of what it's going to look like. And if you have any comments on the design or anything you'd like to see in there, or anything you do differently, do feel free to share it in the comments. I'm always interested to hear what you guys have, what your opinions are on the things that I've created. Now, if you would like to support the video, please hit that like, favorite and subscribe button. As always, it helps to get my videos out there, and it's also a great way for me to know if you like the content that I'm making or that I need to adjust anything. So it helps me personally a lot, also to stay motivated, of course. And if you want to go even further, I do have a Patreon page where you can subscribe, become a member, become a patron, and you'll get access to a few versions of maps that I've made in the past, as well as some character tokens that are on there that a friend of mine made as a sort of thank you for that. And with that, nothing else is left to say except for thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.